All right, everybody, this next presentation is very special to me. This means a lot to me because, as I mentioned yesterday, 35 years ago, I bought the tabletop, and that's what got me into this community. That's what got me into this world. These guys that I'm about to introduce are the stewards of the tabletop and the fiction and the things that really add a flavor to the Battletech and MechWarrior universe. They're going to be talking about their new beginner box set that's coming out this next month. Is it December or January? They're going to be talking about the new game of Armored Combat. They're going to be talking about new map packs. We haven't seen new maps for years. They're going to be talking about new fiction. I really want to hear a very loud round of applause from Randall Bills and Brent Evans from Catalyst GameLabs. Let's hear it, people. Battletech right here.
Firing that demo. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Wow, that was loud.
Woo! Hi, everybody. Hello, Mech Warriors.
So, yeah, I wasn't kidding, though. This apparently is Jordan and Mitch's demo presentation they're doing, and I kind of want to fire that up, or just mess it up and unplug the cords. I'm sure Mitch will love that wherever he's at. So anyways, we are with Catalyst GameLabs. Obviously, if you're sitting here, hopefully you know who we are. We publish the Battletech board game. And similar to Darren, though I'm just slightly less younger than that, I think I figured out 32 years ago, I picked up the Battletech board game, and it's all been downhill. I mean, it's been fantastic ever since. And yeah, we've got a lot of good spread. It's kind of weird to have these boxes kind of backwards to you guys for the presentation, but our awesome cameraman here is going to be going through and showing that off as we talk about it. We're also not going to talk that long, because if you let me, when I'm talking about Battletech, I just talk all the day long. So we're going to give a kind of short presentations, and then we're going to be asking you guys some questions. And apparently there's like a foamy...
Yeah, there's supposed to be a box where you guys can ask questions.
Foamy box, so Darren or somebody, if you can bring that up to us. We need that soft box to throw around, mainly because I want to try to hit you guys with it. That'd be fun. Box sets. That's pretty much, I'm sure, what almost everyone's going to want to know about. As far as we can tell, we missed actually being able to have them here on sale by just mere hours.
How many of you guys were planning on getting the box sets here? Excellent.
Yeah, I love seeing that. We tried on the drive up on Thursday. We drove up on Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
No, Friday.
Friday morning.
On Friday, as of noon on Friday, we still thought we were going to have them. They were coming into the warehouse. We're going to gather them up, put them on a plane, fly them out here, and it just all kind of came apart. But they are moving actually into our warehouse. So the beginner box set, which is something that really hasn't existed for Battletech before in this format, a really great $20 box, 2 plastic mechs, quick start rules, a single map, quick universe guide, just a really brilliant way to have somebody, dip their toe in it. You can finally, tell your friends, hey, just, 20 bucks. And you can dive in and see what all the great fun's about. So that'll be out at the end of December. And then a game of Armored Combat is really the replacement for the previous introductory box set. And we tried really hard to focus it a little more, while it was obviously all about the miniatures. There were 24 miniatures in the previous box. And that was definitely one of those cases where, looking back, we realized that that was a little too much, just too much.
Well, and actually the truth is we didn't quite realize it at first. It was the retailers came to us and said, you guys are cramming way too much stuff in this box. Can you pull it apart and put it into smaller products that are easier for people to bite-size, accept and then scale their way up over through the product line. So yeah, it was a learning curve for all of us, and thank you all for going on that adventure with us as we kind of figured out what is the right mixture of putting contents in these box sets, making them available for everybody and meeting those needs.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then, so once again, the miniature quality, every time we've done these box sets, actually I realized it totally made me feel so old. I think this is the 6th base box set for Battletech that I've been a part of making. Like, that's just a lot of base box sets. But every time we've learned more, we've worked better on the miniatures, and I can say really confidently that these are the best quality miniatures that plastic miniatures that have ever appeared in a Battletech box set. So we're really happy about that. They've been on display over in the Battletech Catalyst area the whole weekend. We'll put them right back there. So if you haven't been able to check them out, please come by, check them out. We're really proud of those. And so this one, as I said, beginner box set will be on sale at the end of December. A Game of Armor Combat will be available at the end of January. And then the next one we have is going to be the map sets that are at the printer right now. I just approved the digital proofs. They'll be available in March. And I'm going to actually let Brent take that over, because that was, there hasn't been a new Battletech map set in 18 years, which is, that makes us all feel old. But he's going to tell you how we worked and how painful, but how awesome it was to finally get these new maps and how good they look and how great they are. So
yeah,
take it.
How many of you guys are looking forward to having new battlefields to roll dice on? Absolutely, absolutely. So it was so funny when we, when we looked at it, we realized we didn't actually have map artists for maps. The map team for designing maps had long since moved on to other things, and we kind of had to go from scratch. Thankfully, Battletech has an amazing demo team across the country, and delivering products, game events and things to stores, running those events, and knowing what works and what doesn't. So I actually reached out to the demo team. I think we had 13 members of the demo team said, we want to help design maps. We'll play test them. We'll rule them out. And we all thought, oh yeah, we'll just punch out the maps. It'll be like 3 to 5 weeks. We'll get those things done. It was 6 months. The level of effort that it went into making sure that these are the most universal playable maps, that they meet fans at every, here, why don't you be Vanna? That they meet fan games at every level of difficulty, every style and interest of play. And whereas before we would have like city maps, and then we would have a group of water maps, and we'd have a group of mountain maps, and all those were separated. We decided that in one set we wanted 12 brand new maps. And of those 12, there should be at least 2 open terrain. There should be 2 that are rolling hills. There should be 2 that are, foothills. And as we graduated through, and then we wanted some very specific Battletech-only locations. This is a great event, or a great example. Most people have water-based maps in their Battlefield packs, but most people avoid water because it slows down gameplay so quickly. One of the things in gameplay we realized is by using the rules for level 0 water, which have actual no effect on gameplay, it makes water maps completely playable. They're fluid, it never lets anybody bog down or stop, and by making sure that there's no place for somebody to turtle or have a perfect sniper spot, they ended up being some of the favorites of the map battlefields that we created and ran through playtesting. But it wasn't just water or mountains or hills. We also wanted Battletech specific locations. We all remember playing the video games, and when you're fighting over the base or you're trying to blow up the communication center and all that other good juicy stuff that is absolutely inherently Battletech, we wanted real depicted maps of those items, those buildings, those locations, and they weren't just geometric shapes. We wanted to illustrate them. One of the coolest things is that the artists for Battletech are such diehard fans that they went all the way down the deep end on when I said I want to do buildings, I want to do constructions, I want to have HPGs, and I want to have mech bays. The artist that we assigned this to, Spooky, many of you guys know from the forums and stuff, Spooky 777. Yeah, Spooky's fantastic, and he's a huge Battletech fan. He built all the buildings in 3D. Not only so that they would be perfect here, and if you look at them, there's actually shadows. And the shadows are correct. They actually have all the antennas and little dishes and things on there for the angle of the lighting, So it was amazing as he did this, not just for that, but to add to the library of 3D assets that on the tabletop side allowed us to quickly turn around product, visuals, and assets for you guys. So it was just one of those things that it snowballed into a huge effort, but I think you guys are going to absolutely love it. This product comes out in March. It will have 12 brand new battlefields. Now those are double-sided. So it'll be 6 maps that are double-sided. So those of you that want to be able to play all 12 interchangeably, you'll probably want to plan on getting 2 map packs. But this is the first in an ongoing line of map pack products. There are currently 8 planned just for started, and the intention is to release them over the course of a 24-month, roughly speaking, depending on how fast they go through distribution, because we want to make sure that we are keeping them in print alongside the new product. So that's part of the things that are going on there to make sure you guys all have great locations to roll dice and blow stuff up on.
Yeah, excellent. So some of the other things that we're doing is so we have that cover over there with the Marauder on it, which I don't know if Marco's here somewhere.
You guys like the Marauder, right? Anthony's right here.
Anthony's there. So Anthony helped us craft our new Reimagine, as we like to describe them, take on the Marauder. And then I can't even remember, we were like in a production meeting or something like that, and Marco did that cover and sent it in to us. And like the whole production meeting just shut down for like 30 minutes as we were just drooling over that piece. And I told him yesterday, you know, I've been gaming this for 32 years, been working on it for 22 years, and that is arguably one of my favorite illustrations ever. It's powerful, it works, it pops. And so in addition, if you notice down in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a 35th anniversary logo. Because next year Battletech is 35 years, which is pretty amazing. And so, Vanna White, that's right.
Looks a lot like that.
And so we are, the Battletech manual is being reprinted currently, and we are doing a 35th anniversary cover with that, which is what he's showing off right there. That'll be available again, and we're doing a lot of other things we can't quite talk about. There's just so much fantastic stuff that we have coming for this 35th anniversary that's going on next year. So that's just one of many type of things along those lines. Keith is super excited. Giving the big shout out, Keith was the primary guy that helped to develop the Battle Mech manual and really sculpt that new style of how to present those type of roles. That was fantastic to work with him. Do you want to do Shattered Fortress?
Absolutely.
Okay.
One of the great moments, many of you know that I kind of took over the creative direction for Battletech about a year ago. And one of those moments we realized is that we had a lot of things that were coming together and they had to be done right. That storyline was always sent out through distribution and solicitation and called Ill Clan. And when I took a look at what was happening with Ill Clan, the truth is we were kind of breezing right past a lot of important moments. And I'm like, we can't soft sell any of this. This is bigger than Tukayid. This is bigger than the clans showing up. This is a moment where the inner sphere is going to feel it no matter where you are. And so in tasking the writer team to really flesh it out, overhaul it, bring it to life, the very first chapter of that was very clearly that it was Shattered Fortress. For those of you that are diehards on the Battletech lore, you'll know the fortress refers to the fortress around the remnant of the Republic of the Sphere. And this is your Star Wars Episode 5, your Empire Strikes Back. This is the beginning of what comes next. And what comes next is going to absolutely detonate and launch the storylines for Battletech for the next decade. This is a great source book, giving you a lot of great feedback in ways that are very accessible even to brand new fans to the IP, or fans who like playing the video games but aren't really all that steeped in the lore. And this is a great way to start off. One of the other things we did is to make sure that we were reinforcing the strength of fiction within the line of Battletech. We released this right alongside 2 novellas that tell the full story of 2 of the key battles in this book. And between now and Gen Con, you'll see 2 more of those released, where you're talking about warlords rise and fall, heroes rise and falls, planets change hands that make a huge difference in what's to come. So this is a great moment in Battletech, reinforced by the fiction that's coming out. And the fiction is one of those elements that cannot be overplayed. The importance of fiction in Battletech, fiction has always driven the line. the game is alive because we all fell in love with characters that brought it to life. And there are so many great things happening with the fiction in Battletech. And as one of our authors, I would love to hear Randall talk for just a moment on being on the outside, watching me kind of organize the cats. What have you been thinking about how it's been going on driving it with fiction?
Well, actually, my favorite part is several months into Brent working on that and him kind of going like, wow, I didn't realize it was this difficult to do all of this. And that, you know, that made me, that was a good, fun moment.
It was.
No, it's actually fantastic. A lot of what Brent is doing, I have been wanting to do and push the line in that direction. Absolutely. Fiction is, you know, part of what I love about MechCon is I love coming and visiting with everyone and seeing the games. It's always really brilliant, but there's always just so many stories we all share about those pivotal moments. And, you know, we're just sitting there talking with some of the Piranha guys, in fact, just before this, about some of those fiction moments. Actually, I think the last one we talked about, yeah, I'll get to that. The last one I talked about was in Lauren's Double Blind novel when Damona Aziz gets killed. That was just such a good moment. But again, in this idea of trying to present fiction and bring it back to where fiction is the driving force behind the universe, we're able to go back to Bill Keith. And I think I talked with the No Guts, No Galaxy guys, oh man, might have been over a year ago about this, about the idea of going to, so you had the 20-year update for those that have been around that long, and I remember the tagline on the back of that book was, you know, don't think of your character as 20 years older, think of his son as ready to fight. And so I really loved the idea of going to the fathers and the mothers of the characters and starting to tell those stories. And so I was able to go back to Bill Keith, and he was able to go to the Colby's Commandos in the late 2900s, which will eventually morph into Great Death Legion, you know, some 20 or 30 years down the line. And so both of these novellas do that story and tell these great fictional pieces and start to lay the groundwork for where you then see Great Death Legion coming from. So it's been great to see that. All the authors are stepping up in a big way. I can't give too much away, but there's also a so John Helfers is our novel line editor and works closely with Brent. And so if you've been loving the fiction that you're getting, huge kudos both to Brent, but especially to John Helfers, obviously to the authors. And there's a big novel project that we're getting Mike Stackpole back in. We're looking at getting Bill Keith back in. Lauren's working on it again. I'm feeling like I want to get dragged back into this project to have a multi-tiered novel. So there's just lots of great stuff that we have coming down the pipe. Yep. So I think that kind of gives a pretty awesome preview here. We continue to do our awesome tchotchkes. He'll show us here in the back. We've got these fantastic metal dice that we started to come out with. I mean, we've done the Chessex dice forever, and we'll continue to do that as long as you guys keep buying dice. We'll keep doing it. And then about a year or so ago, we started doing the metal dice with Drew and Norse Foundry. Those guys are amazing, producing some fantastic dice. We have all these on sale here at the show. We are working to figure out how to get dice on our website for those that are watching and can't ever do that. And then same thing with t-shirts. We actually will be placing some brand new Battletech t-shirts up on our website to order so that you can get those without having to come to conventions. It's an important part of the convention experience, but we also know we really want to get these out to those that can't come. So I think that's about it. Did we ever get I think we're going to start rolling into the Q&A. We're supposed to get a little foam bally thing, or are we just going to have...
For the
was there a softbox, or did that not occur? I wanted to be able to hit these guys with the softbox.
Okay.
Is it coming?
He says we will as soon as the boxes come out.
As soon as the boxes come out?
I think there we go. There's the man.
Boxes!
Dramatic pause, dramatic pause.
So
there
can I
it
actually
is.
get to throw this box? So apparently, we can actually throw this, and then you talk into it, which is actually really awesome. So I think we're pretty much done with
Yeah, we pretty much got it covered as far as the basics.
I mean, obviously we can talk more, but really we've found in the past it's much more about the Q&A part and people having questions, and I really want to try to hit somebody with this.
I know. Who do we get to bean? Who wants it first?
I think we got a first question here.
All right, here we go. You ready?
You can do it? Lob it? Yeah!
Testing.
Oh, they working?
Hello? Hello, 1, 2, yeah?
I broke it with my super hard throw.
Are you sure?
There we go.
All right. Are you guys expected to release a clan box, like exclusively clan or something? Or like a clan invasion box, where it's like one clan versus Innisphere?
Yes. We're gonna leave it at that.
Well, just so we're clear, when you say clan books.
No, I think you said clan box.
Oh, clan box. Miniatures. Okay, that's different.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say yes, and we're just gonna leave it at that.
Yes, we have plans. We have lots of plans to take over the universe.
Plans. Now that we apparently sort of maybe know how to do minis, we have lots of awesome plans to do more. Absolutely. Now,
by the way, that was an awesome question right off the bat. Way to go, man.
You're supposed, Brent. Apparently, we look better together on the camera.
Do we?
Together, so he wants us over.
All right.
Okay. Any more questions? Come on, you guys have more questions. Where? Oh.
There's one over there.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, come on. You could have aired it out.
I totally wanted it. Yeah.
Testing. Can you guys hear me?
Volume?
Talk into the other side.
No.
I just did that to mess with you, actually.
No, I know. So are you guys looking at doing more new resculpts for older mechs, or is it all just going to be the same sort of Iron Wind stuff for a lot of things?
I couldn't hear it. Need to go a little louder.
A little louder?
Volume, if you can.
Are you looking at doing resculpts for other mechs than just the ones you've done in the new boxes?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, if you look in the base box set, the Ridiculous Awesome that we have wasn't part of any type of thing that caused us to show or not show stuff. And so we absolutely have plans to go in a very similar vein. I mean, we all, Hairbrain Schemes and Piranha Games and us, we all love these designs, and we're all working. Anthony in particular, we're like flogging him to do this. Take both those designs that we really want back, as well as just designs that have been around forever. Everyone loves them, but we want to bring some modern sensibilities while retaining those aesthetics that are the core of those designs. So yeah, we absolutely have lots and lots of work and lots of drawings underway, and poor artists that are, we're trying to kill, so.
Yeah, there's a reason why Anthony is sitting down right now. He's just so exhausted from, he's actually leading the team.
In fact, why are you not drawing? I think that's what it is.
Many of you guys you guys know Anthony's work, and you love the stuff that he's been able to do over the course of things. One of the things that we did last year was to tap Anthony and say, take the lead, and actually you start training artists to expand on what you're doing. So yeah, what you've seen now with the box sets is just the very first step in a very systematic overhaul of the looks, visuals, and feel to make a lot of those old, rather dated-looking designs that are perfectly playable, but kids in this decade are not going to look at nor necessarily say, oh, that looks super high-tech. We want to get back to where Battletech is the super high-tech, very cool mecha across the board. And that's going to take some work because there's an awful lot of SKUs and things going on here. But yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of great designs out there that we'll be giving facelifts to.
Yeah, I used to work, I will keep names out of it, but I used to work at a place where this particular gentleman could never understand why Battletech just sold and sold and sold. And of course, I and the other ones that had worked with us are like, how do you not understand?
Yeah. How do you not get it?
It's giant robots that blow crap up. How's that not awesome? And just like a couple of weeks ago, I had the beginner box set illustration, one of Marco's pieces, in fact, on a T-shirt, and was walking into Red Robin for a lunch meeting, and there's like this 4-year-old kid holding his mother's hand as he walks by me, and happens to look over his shoulder, and then just like sees my shirt and is like dragging his mom backwards, and I'm like, he gets it. See, it's robots blowing crap up. How's that not awesome? Okay, other questions? Oh. Yeah, I get to throw one. Yes.
All right. Test. Okay. So just to pivot back when you're talking about more fiction, is that, when you're talking about more fiction, is that going to involve actual, like, proper full-size novels and not just novellas? Like, at least something that, if it doesn't hit, like, like commercial retail, at least something we'd be able to pick off like Amazon or something like that, like actual novels?
That is a great question. Are you cool if I field this one?
Yeah, go.
Okay, that is a great question. And for those of you that don't know, since the novel industry kind of changed, when Borders went out of business, a lot of things altered. A lot of things altered. And now we have electronic distribution, electronic novels, and we are hearing back a lot of feedback that, like, a lot of the fans that consume electronic novels want them at different sizes. They want them at different content. So we're trying to field not only get back to novels and expand novellas, but also to field, expand the full line into things that are right on par with what is currently cutting edge in the demands of things with electronic fiction. And electronic fiction is really, really exciting as a developer designer because we can get content out that way 6 months faster than we can any other way. If you're trying to put something out to print, it takes a while to go through print and then to get distributed. Electronic, we push a button and it is amazing how fast that stuff can go out. So we have made a coordinated effort. I actually have a weekly meeting with John Helfers, our novel line editor, and we are coordinating. We currently have 30 fiction projects in the works right now with the author teams. And that includes short stories, novellas, short novels, full novels, and then novel series where we're talking 3 or more in the series. And all of those are not determined arbitrary. They're completely determined by what does the story for this point in Battletech need to tell it properly. One of the things that I had told the authors behind the scenes that I'm not going to arbitrarily give you a word count. I want you to tell me what it takes to tell the story right. Michael Stackpole pulled me aside at Gen Con and he said, "Were you serious when you said that?" He didn't think I was. He was so used to the constraints that happened, just the normal part of writing, of being an author. And I said, "No, seriously, if you tell me this needs to be, if I give you one novel and you tell me it needs to be 3, I'm not going to argue with you. You're Michael Stackpole. It's my job to make that happen." And just to see the turnaround with the authors coming back going, "We are really excited to work on Battletech again because you're not choking us on this one. You're letting us tell the stories the way they need to be done and letting, my goal now is to design the line around the epic storylines that are going to keep all of us and our kids and friends and the younger generation coming back to Battletech for the next decade easy." So yes, all of the above. And some of that, we don't even know quite exactly how that's going to be because the rules are literally changing. We're getting quarterly reports from John Helfers that the requests from both brick and mortars and electronic distributors are changing every quarter. So we're constantly checking in on how do you want it, what size, what content, what file type, all that other stuff. It's actually a really fun point in publishing right now with regard to fiction because I've never seen it be both this volatile but this user-friendly at the same time. Does that answer your question? He's a dead treeware guy.
He just
Got
wants
it.
print novels.
We will always be effort in giving you print novels. The one thing I can tell you is that those of you that have been paying attention to print on demand and the ability to, like if you go on Amazon, you're like, print it now. We now have the ability to just list something, and if you want one copy, you can just order it, and they'll print a copy and mail it to you. So that is absolutely something we're looking at doing, not just with the new stuff, but with the entire line on making all of that accessible to the fans. Well, part of me wants to mess with you and find out what 4 they are and then hold them back, but I'm sure we'll find a way to hook you up with your favorite novel addiction. No problem. Okay, who's next?
Next question. Somebody got a ball?
Okay, the newly married guy. Oh, no. Here we go.
Because I've been pressed into doing it, haha, Butte Hold. My big question is, since we're releasing the Touring the Stars books, I'm not really comfortable paying for those individually. Is there ever really going to be a compilation of those?
A compilation of which?
The Touring the Stars series and the spotlight on the PDF products?
Probably.
Okay. Do you want those in print? Or do you want them electronically?
No, just
electronically?
Yeah, I mean, right now the price point for what I'm getting as a GM, they're not quite as effective for me. Okay. But I think as a compilation, they'd be more of an attractive price point.
I would say a compilation of that's probably pretty likely at some point.
Usually on those, we wait until we have a quantity that it makes sense to bundle them together.
Yeah.
And that's really the only thing that holds us back. There's no business model behind holding them and not doing it.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Oh, back there.
All right. So I have a question. When is Battletech returning to the proud tradition of hammering the Capellan Confederation to nothing?
Hammering the Capellan Confederation? Can I just take a moment? For those of you that are going to read Shattered Fortress or have already, it's funny because most of us have a paradigm where the Capellan Confederation was the dog that kept getting kicked. The authors over the last 8 years really have done a phenomenal job with the Capellan Confederation. If you look at the TO&E of the Capellans, they're actually the strongest inner sphere faction at this point in the timeline.
But that's what he's saying. Is like that's wrong. That's what he's saying.
Oh, you what?
You got to go back.
You want to go back?
He wants them to be kicked.
Well, just so we're.
I mean, the Republic is dead already. Let's go. But there's something else we can kick.
You know, what comes around goes around. You know,
Yeah.
you rise, you fall.
When you're king of the mountain, nobody's going to let you stay there.
Yeah. So.
I will say, you are talking about the strongest inner sphere house with arguably the most tactically brilliant leader. That leader is going to make use of those forces. There is no way they're sitting on their laurel. So for those of you that like fighting for or against the Capellan Confederation, they are absolutely going to have a place on your tabletop.
Okay. Any other questions? Oh, right there.
Okay, I got a quick question. So with the RPG, with D&D and stuff, they've started moving towards like the Roll20 that allows you to play kind of like over Skype kind of thing. Are you guys looking at coming up with anything like that for the tabletop?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had some discussions. We don't have any definitive plans, but we absolutely know that is, you know, that is the future of a lot of that type of play, and so we are trying to figure out how best to position ourselves to then move forward and do that. So again, no definitive plans, but I think absolutely you're going to see something like that in not too distant future.
Cool, thanks.
Okay, over there. No.
Are we going to see single mini models like the plastic ones released, or is it always going to be bundle packs?
Sorry, I didn't quite hear you.
So you have all those things, like all the new minis you got. Are they ever going to be like sold as like individually, or is it always going to be a bundle pack?
Can I? Yeah, you do it.
No, not in the near term. That doesn't mean in a year or two we might be able to do it differently. Right now we're just really focused on getting these box sets out, making sure they stay in print, getting some other plastics out. And so whether we then turn around and put those into separate lance packs or that type of thing, I doubt we would ever sell them individually. That's just not our model. Individuals, that's for Iron Wind Metals and the metal line. Whether we put them separately into lance packs, that might happen, but not in the short term. That certainly would be a year or two down the line.
Yeah, what you ask is actually an important question on the big picture, because ultimately, I assure you guys will all agree, having box set products on store shelves available for fans that want to pick them up for that entry-level part in the game is a really important element. But in order to do that, we need a healthy box set product line. So if we do it, and I'm not opposed to it, it would have to make sense with the product model. But my primary goal is I want to see solid sales on box sets for 12 months straight. My personal thing is I think that the line would be much better served if the introductory and the beginner box sets are, the Game of Armor Combat and the beginner box sets are on store shelves in stock 12 months straight. In my lifespan on Battletech, I've never seen that happen. It's such an in-demand product that it flies off, and then you have reprint time that gets in the way, and so you end up with these gaps. Having it on store shelves right next to the core rulebook ultimately will serve the line better. And will allow us to then expand into things like the clan box set question, expand into other products that we've had. And there's a lot of ways we could go with that. But ultimately, as a business model, we need at least 4, if not 6 months minimum of sales tracking numbers to justify to the powers of be of, we want you to sink another $200,000 in mold cost to produce this to get it out so that next year we can be making money on that. And ultimately that comes down to how do we make sure that we are fueling the introductory product for the kids straight out of a demo. Oh, this was really cool. What do I do next? Come right over here. And making sure that stuff's available. So ultimately, for the short term, I don't plan on having individuals or even pairs out. Long term, it may absolutely be possible. It certainly could be possible for like a convention exclusive, things like that. But in terms of bricks and mortars, no, we're going to stick with the box sets until we prove the business model, and then we'll expand from there. Is that fair? Good. Thank you. You got one behind you.
Just talk loud.
I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask anyway. Can we please get the card game back?
So we don't, as far as I'm aware, Wizards of the Coast still actually owns the rights to that system. That was designed by Wizards of the Coast for Wizards of the Coast. As far as I'm aware, that system is still theirs. That doesn't mean we can't do it. So for those who look beyond the Battletech for the other things that we do in Shadowrun, we've actually been producing a lot of ancillary games, card games, board games, and so on. We ran a fantastic Sprawl Gangers Kickstarter. And in fact, I'm actually kind of bummed because I went to PAX Unplugged last year and I absolutely had a blast, and it's the exact same weekend right now. So I can't split myself in two because I have to, of course, I have to come to MechCon. But the printer showed up there with a complete factory build of Sprawl Ops. So I'm watching the video with all the rest of the Kickstarter backers to see this for the first time. Then I'll see it in a couple of days. So we're starting to look at that same model for Battletech. So we have Battletech, we have card games, we have board games, we have new things that we're doing. In fact, I have a playtest game in my bag right now that's hidden from all of you, so you guys don't know where my bag is, by the way. So we do want to go in that direction. Whether we take it to the nth degree with a TCG, we'll just have to see. That it's a TCG or even a living card game are so complex and so big. But if we do smaller games, and those are doing really well, then sky's the limit. You know, if you guys are loving what we're doing and the other avenues and the other ways to play Battletech, then we absolutely could go down that road. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
I think they cut you off after you asked the question, so.
Oh. No,
Okay.
just tell them to yell really loud.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're welcome.
You are very welcome. That was a good yell, by the way. Any other questions?
Who else?
Oh,
Come on.
right
I know
behind
there's
you.
more.
Nice.
Hi there. I have a local retail store in Lower Mainland, and the kind of things I'm wondering is, do you have retail support or in the way of posters, displays, things like that that are going to come out to us?
Yeah, you see the giant statue? We'll have one of those for every store.
I'll take it.
Don't listen to him.
It's possible I'm making that up.
We are starting to get better at that. I don't have a lot of good ways to answer that for you because a lot of that type of stuff is kind of outside of our sphere of influence. With the Battletech box sets, we absolutely, with getting those on the stores, we want to be able to provide more support so that it is more of an immersion element. You do have freebie things and posters and so on. So things are underway, but a good chunk of that is kind of over here. So I don't have any good definitive answers I can give you, but we are working towards doing more of that for retail stores, absolutely.
For what it's worth, we would love to hear if there are specific elements that you think would be big levers to improve the impact within your store. We would love to hear from you about that. If you want to grab us at any time during the show and just pull us aside, tell us the kinds of things you're looking at, because some of them may be really relatively easy for us to deliver. Some may not be, but obviously this took longer to get out to the brick and mortar stores than we had expected just because of the nuance with production overseas. Yeah. Nod and shake your head, nod and shake your head. It's okay, it'll be out soon. But with that said, now that that's flowing, looking at ways to reinforce the strength of the Battletech brand within our brick and mortars and reinforcing sales within those stores is definitely one of our priorities.
Okay, I think there was another question, like right there we go. Excellent.
Okay, you were talking about with the new sets, and you want to see hopefully in 12 months big sales on the new box sets.
Yeah.
What is the possibility of us seeing reemergence of old box sets, such as maybe giving us back Aerospace with a series of plastic models, or Battle Space with a series of ships, or a vehicle box set with infantry and a series of vehicles to go on, so we can actually play a little bit more combined arms?
So I think.
Did you guys all hear that question? Oh
so,
man.
I think the easiest solution is ask us at next MechCon. Because really we can't, that is such a depth and level of plastics.
But the game is depth and level. There's lots of rules, lots of combined arm rules.
So, you know, well, you know, I'm the one that wrote a rule book, and somehow 2 rule books came out. You know, I sat down to write TAC Ops with some.
Only 2?
Some fantastic crew, and somehow we wrote TAC Ops and Strat Ops, and that all turned into the whole, we have a rule for that. You know, you can be on a ship that's sinking with a drop ship crashing down on top of you, and I got rules to cover all that. So I get it. We love our depth. We love all that. I would love to see us do things like that at some point, but we really have kind of struggled to get to this point. And so if something like that happens, similar to the previous questions over here, that's definitely another year or 2 down the line. So again, that's why I said come back next year and ask that question, and we might have a much better ability to go, well, yeah, actually we have some new plans here, and here's where we're going. But you wouldn't see anything like that within the next year or so.
At least not from us. Just so we're clear, those products are available through Ironwind Metals now, and they do an amazing job of making sure that they are producing everything that is ordered and getting it out to folks. They even have, I don't know, for those of you that are intimately aware of what Ironwind Metals has been doing and getting their products and stuff out, but making things available as web-only exclusives, even if they're not available in stores and stuff, their turnaround and their response time has been fantastic for quite a while. It's a great team over there, and they should have all of those vehicles in stock immediately. But if you're looking for them in plastics, just because of the accessibility of plastics, then that's where we're going to stall for a year. Is there any combination with that you were looking for in particular that's not being met?
No.
Not really. I just think that with the set that you have now, it gives the basic already. You got all these mechs. Oh. It'd be great to be able to play a combined arms and just get another box set with, say, tanks. So, and then maybe in addition to that, just infantry, battle armor, just these, just a box set to add to a box set that someone could just, instead of having to go order all these ones, it's just a general force to add.
Yeah.
Just really, so you're saying you want the storytelling element so that when you're playing, you know, like, okay, we want a tank over here, we want a V2L over there. Just those elements that you're going to use. It's not going to be your core part of your gameplay, but you want to be able to have that as part of what's going on so that they're acknowledged within the universe. Am I right?
Okay. So you can just grab some models and go.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Other questions? Oh, we got one over here.
Yeah, yell right into the box, man.
Nice. St. Ives, nice.
Randall Bills and Brent Evans.
Yes.
Is there any potential hope for a free St. Ives moving forward?
For what items?
Free St. Ives.
Free St. Ives.
Look at his shirt, man.
Oh, I saw the shirt.
Well, I told him on the way up here that I personally wanted to see the free ticket off Republic rise again, you know. Pavel, baby. Got to get up there. You never know. I think we're just going to probably leave it at that and run on.
Well, I'm going to easily say that I really was money where my mouth is. When I told the authors, you tell us what stories need to be told in Battletech, go for it. I'm not arbitrarily demanding anything. If you want to convince one of the authors to pitch me an awesome story or John Helfer's, then I'm sure that's a good way to go, because I'm never going to run out of the way of that.
I'm sure they would all take bribes, so
yeah. Oh,
totally
yeah.
do that.
And if Stackpole comes to me with a great idea for that, I'm not going to say no.
Well, thank you very
we got.
much.
Oh, do you have another one?
No, that's it.
No,
Thank you
okay.
very much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Other questions? Are we at the end of our time? Because we can be at the end of our time. Okay, so it looks like we are done, guys. Thank you so much. Like I said, I've been doing this for so ridiculously long, and yet the fact that I can come and sit down with you guys and shop stories and still play and enjoying the game we love, whether it's electronic or board game or whatever it might be. Love it to death. Thank you so much. You guys help us be able to do what we get to do. And thank you. So round of applause for everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And we'll, you know, come on by the booth, try out a game, and talk with us.
Yep.
So thanks, guys.
Thanks.